So far this summer, I have been struggling a little bit with getting a good routine again with Spanish, just, lacking a bit of inspiration. So that has kind of been my focus over the past few weeks of trying to regain that spark and that desire to do things in Spanish all the time. Part of that has been incorporating other things like German and Portuguese, consuming media in English for a little bit of break, just kind of trying everything to see how it goes, trying new things in Spanish. So we will just catch back up in a little bit.
Because you listened when my heart got broke. Remember you were there to help me cope. So you don't gotta go through this alone. You know I got your back, I'll always be your homie. If you're lonely, you can call me. When you don't know how to be strong, you can lean on me. I'll be your rock at the bottom. You don't have to be cool, cause I see through it. If your world is feeling heavy, I can carry it too. Let me be a
Nós estamos sem vontade.
Let me be a friend to you.
Hello. I am doing some studying today. I did some German. I started out with Closemaster, and then I read one chapter of this book that I had that I found at Half Price Books, which this is actually the second book in a series, which I have no idea when I got it, and not that it would have mattered, but the audiobook is on Storytel, but for some reason it's abridged, which is really weird because this doesn't feel like it would need abridged. So what I was doing was listening to a section, like a page or two, and then I would go back, and the lazy method that I was using for looking up words is just taking a picture of the page with Google Translate, because you can use the camera. Sometimes it's a little bit buggy, but you can use the camera and then it will just translate the whole page, and then I could cross-reference words that I didn't know, and it's much faster than stopping and looking up individual words or phrases. Probably not the best way, but definitely a more user-friendly way to do like intensive reading, because I am really bad about that. But with how much German I've forgotten, this is too difficult for me to just read through at this point. So I think that's a good middle ground, and I will try to keep doing that. So German's done. I'm going to do Portuguese now. I'm going to do the same thing where I do some Closemaster first and then read some of the book that I'm reading in Portuguese, which is called Of Cattle and Men in English. I have not read very much of it, and I need to finish it soon. So hello, good morning. Well, barely morning. It's like 10:15. I wanted to do like a productive vlog. I don't really have any plans over the next 2 days other than I have a lot of stuff I need to do. But I also really want to get a lot of language stuff in. I've been super into studying lately. I am kind of doing some stuff in German and Portuguese as well as Spanish. And so I just really want to make sure that I'm maximizing my time. And so we're starting out. I need to run some errands, and I'm probably just going to pick up some coffee at the gas station because I don't feel like making it myself. My current audiobook, don't laugh at me, is, you can laugh, it's fine, Iron Flame, the second Fourth Wing book, which I don't really like this series or this author that much. I did really enjoy the first book though, and I've been in a major audiobook slump. So I've been listening to kind of easy to get into audiobooks in Spanish. Like the last one that I listened to was Verity by Colleen Hoover, which I don't want to offend people, but like definitely not a book that I would objectively recommend. But if you need like a super easy plot driven, you know, like a trashy TV kind of situation, it's a good one for that. So yeah, kind of the same story for this one. So that's gonna be my errands soundtrack when I can, and yeah. Hello. Okay, so it is much later. Everything took way longer than I expected. And then when I came back, I had a sinus headache, so I tried to take a nap and get rid of that. Only moderately worked. So it's almost 4. I did finally get art portfolio that I have been trying to buy for ages. I couldn't find one that would work well, so I have to, well, I don't have to, but I want to consolidate an entire lifetime of sketchbooks, most of which are unfinished, into portfolios. That is what we're gonna work on first. I have to turn my fan back on. Whew, it is so hot and muggy because it's been threatening to storm for like days, and then every day it just doesn't, so hence my sinus headaches every single day, and yeah, it's a little oppressive, but anyway. I will check back in with you later. Okay, we have a packet of sketches and drawings that I don't like as well. And then we have this portfolio full of art, and I left, I don't know, 5 pages blank or something like that for future additions. But yeah, I'm happy. Okay, good morning. So last night I really didn't end up doing like any of the things that I thought I was gonna do. I mostly just kept my Closemaster streak and then watched some YouTube before I went to bed. For some reason, I just had no focus yesterday. So today has started out a little bit better. I read a book in Spanish for an hour. I can't remember if I've done my Closemaster yet or not. I have not, so I'm gonna do my Closemaster. I think I'm gonna walk to the library. It is supposed to rain, but I'm hoping... Ooh, maybe I shouldn't. Man, that's so annoying. Right in the middle of the day, it says 40% chance of thunderstorms. 40%? Couldn't you come up with like 10% or 80%? So anyway, yeah, I've been trying to start a new Spanish show because I'm just not like inspired about any of the ones that I was kind of watching, but unfortunately I'm not inspired about any new ones either. I just keep watching like half an episode of shows and immediately quitting because I'm not that interested. So yeah, I don't know what to do about that, but yeah. It's so funny to me, this girl just had this whole crisis about whether this participle is supe or sabido, and I'm like, oh, thank God, I'm so glad that this happens to native speakers.
It's just like, I feel like one of the hardest skills. So yeah, I mean,
About them having to be so slow for me. Obviously that wasn't always perfect, but I do think I kind of give myself a head start by just getting...
Good morning. Well, barely morning. It's like 10 o'clock now. So I want to try to vlog today and to do a bunch of stuff. I have a whole to-do list built out here. I have started so many vlogs recently and they have all just like completely fizzled out. So basically for today, because I don't have anything specific planned today other than some small things, I'm just going to try this like list of activities that I can choose from as they appeal to me. I do have to go to the bank. I have an hour of reading in English, an hour of reading in Spanish, 2 hours of housework. I want to take my cat to the park because I'm trying to get used to being outside, or like not being outside. Like I don't want her to, she's not going to be an adventure cat or anything. She's like 11 years old. It's a little late to introduce that, but I want to make it so that I can take her places like to the vet and stuff and move without it being like the end of the world. So anyway, an hour of Portuguese and Deutsch study, an hour of Portuguese and German, an hour of Spanish study, and this isn't like timed or anything, but I want to find a new Spanish podcast. I have been kind of burnt out on all my Spanish podcasts. Speaking of which, I've just been kind of wallowing in general because I haven't been enjoying a lot of the things that I typically enjoy, like Spanish shows, Spanish podcasts, all that kind of stuff. The only thing that has really kind of held steady is like reading in Spanish. But yeah, so I want to try to find some new Spanish podcasts that are potentially more similar to ones that I listen to in English. Because in the meantime, I've just kind of been allowing myself to take a break. You know, obviously I don't want to start hating Spanish, and so I've just been listening to my podcasts in English, listening to audiobooks in English, occasionally watching things in English, just to kind of give myself a break. Also, this is silly, but I made this thing and I'm very excited about it. Well, I didn't make it, but this is a toiletries case from Target, and I have just been annoyed by how like scattered my planning supplies are. Like I'll have my bullet journal somewhere, I'll have like a pencil case with a bunch of markers in it, but then I'll have my to-do list, you know, papers somewhere else, stickers somewhere else, you know, all this stuff. So I just decided to get this thing that's big enough to hold all of them, and it's great because of course toiletry containers have a whole bunch of pouches and useful storage aspects. So anyway, I'm gonna get started on this. I think first I'm gonna try to find a podcast so that when I go to the bank and do the housework that I have something to listen to. I dilly-dallied a little too close to the sun and now it is 11:30, but I'm going to go to the bank and then go to the library and do some reading. This sunscreen, I don't like it. It stinks. But I have it, so now I need to use it up. It's also super yellow, so, or like orange. So if you do not have an orangier skin tone, definitely do not buy Hero Force Shield. Thankfully I do have an orangier skin tone, so it's not too bad. But so this has been your sunscreen interlude. So I did get a new podcast. Well, I followed a whole bunch of them and I need to try them out. So I think the one that I'm going to try out on my walk first is, the podcast is called Las Raras, but the season is called Te Busco, and it is about a Chilean journalist who is trying to find the person who hit her with their car a long time ago. I don't know. That's what I got from the description. I don't know why this is turning into the sunscreen chronicles, but if I have always had problems wearing sunscreen on my face because it gets in my eyes like 100% of the time. I just must have really sensitive eyes. I don't know. But it does still get in my eyes but wearing powder really helps. I had to buy powder for this because I don't really wear full face makeup, so I didn't own any powder. But other podcasts that I found that I want to try, one called Arnold, Los Años Ocultos, which is about, I guess, basically how Arnold Schwarzenegger like rose to fame. I don't know. It's only like 6 episodes or something. I don't care about Arnold Schwarzenegger, but I do really like story podcasts, like mini-series podcasts. So that's what I'm trying to find more of in Spanish. I don't know why I like started to actually get ready. I did not plan on wearing makeup today, but here we are. Hello. Much later. It's now like 8 p.m. I went to the library, went to the store really quickly. I did do my little cat excursion. I'll have a video on here. She did super well. She was very nervous, but made it a very quick trip. Tried to end on a positive note, and I was very proud of her. I am not going to have time to do as much as I had wanted. I did an hour of Spanish reading at the library. I'm kind of torn between just trying to finish my Spanish book in English. It's called Front Desk by Kelly Yang. It's the multilingual book club book for the Patreon, or reading in English for an hour. I don't know. I'm torn. We'll see. But first, I am going to try to get a little bit of stuff done around the house first before I settle in to read for the rest of the evening. I did start several podcasts. I listened to one episode of Te Busco, and it was really good, but it was not a good podcast to listen to while you're like walking in a city as a pedestrian, because it is, you know, about a pedestrian getting hit by a car. And so it was just very anxiety inducing, but it does seem like it's going to be a very good podcast. I just need to find a time to listen to it that is not either while I am walking in the city or driving. So, you know, those are obviously prime podcast listening times, so it's gonna have to be an around the house podcast. But anyway, I also listened to the first episode of the Arnold one, which was fine.
Eles já entregam bastante. Porém, o Kindle Oasis, ele vem aí com algumas facilidades que eu
Hello. So it is the end of this vlog, I think. It is the 16th of August, and I am feeling pretty good. I have been just trying a whole bunch of new things just to get a little bit more inspiration, as well as, you know, taking breaks when I feel like I need to. Like sometimes I will, like for example, going to Chicago, I was on a bus for like 7.5 hours each direction, and I at first was like, this will be a great time to get a ton of Spanish in, which is true. But I was like, well, I can listen to this, and this, because I can't read or anything in the car. I get very motion sick, so it was just listening. And so I was trying to, you know, plan out like 7.5 hours of listening. And then I was like, you know what, I'm just going to take it as it goes. And so I would listen to maybe a podcast episode in English, and then, you know, an episode or two in Spanish, and then if I felt like I needed a break or I couldn't find anything interesting, I would listen to another one in English, you know, just kind of making it like more reasonable instead of holding myself to this like all or nothing idea. I would run out of things that I was interested in, or I would just need a break, so then I would just listen to English for a while. And it's like, well, you can just go back and forth, you know, like that seems really obvious, obviously, but like, you know, here we are. I just have to add a few final touches to this vlog in order to have it out today. I want to get back to doing kind of monthly vlogs because I do find them really fun and motivational, and I just like, you know, collecting the clips over a month to kind of see how what I'm doing evolves over the month or doesn't, stays consistent, you know, whatever the case might be. So anyway, let me know how your language learning is going, and I will see you in the next video.